And happy Wednesday, August 31st, 2022, and welcome to a brand new edition of what we like to call the Clash of Le Champions. I'm your host, the vegan you believe in, Kirk Cadet in the flesh as always, and this man, he needs no introduction.
Hello, what's up, everybody? This is tag team partner Jonathan Randall at your guys' service. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the right time for me and Kurt to do this special recap episode that we always do every month because we're excited for this pay per view. We've also been excited what's been going on over the past couple of weeks with Triple H in charge of the company.
Yes, it has been a very nice breath of fresh air to say the very least. We're about, let's say, about 5 weeks into this now, and this is going to be the first full pay per view that is built for the last month where he's been in charge. And I have to say, I am really, really, really looking forward to this show.
Me too. Me too. And I'm really I'm I'm really excited with the build up. They've been doing a really nice job with the build up, mainly pertaining to the marquee matchups. And this is what we're gonna do. This is what it's all about, and we're just happy to have that excitement in wrestling again.
Yes, it's great, and I like I said before on the last episode, like now I actually like go out of my way to watch Raw and SmackDown every week, and
Hmm.
this pay per view, I feel like is going to be something special because it's going to be in a stadium. It's going to be the first stadium show in the UK in 30 years in SummerSlam '92, and we have a
Yep.
marquee main event.
Yes, we do. And right now, we want to, do our job. We want to go down, give us our predictions as we always do. We're going to start off by doing that. We're going to start off um, with a tag team match that's between Edge, Rey Mysterio, with Dominic Mysterio in their corner versus Judgment Day, the team of Finn Balor and Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley in the corner. So after what I saw this past Monday, many are speculating that I think it's gonna happen, and we've been talking about it like for months now. I really think that Dominic's gonna turn heel, and I think that Judgment Day is gonna get a victory.
I don't see any other way that this whole thing can go because they've been teasing it for months, pretty much ever since after the Raw after SummerSlam when Edge speared Dominic by
Yeah,
mistake. And then what
right.
happened on Raw, and after what happened on Raw Monday, where Dominic had the kendo stick, and then Rhea Ripley
Yeah,
talked him into giving it to her,
yep.
considering that Ray picked Edge to be his partner instead of Dominic. It seems like all roads are leading to a Dominic heel turn, and I think it's going to happen.
That's
And,
yeah.
and Damian Priest and Finn Balor will win the match. And this is going to be a much needed
Mhm.
win for Judgment Day because they've been kind of on the losing end for a hot minute.
Right, and you got when you look at this aspect, Kurt. There's two ways you look at it. Number one, yeah, Judgment Day needs to regain that momentum that they had in the beginning, even though what they did to Edge was wrong. And number two, like you said, they've been teasing this whole scenario of Dominic turning heel. So this is your moment to do it. This is the time to do it. At this pay per view. This is the right time to do it.
Yes, and I see it happening. Oh, by the way, I also watched the Rey Mysterio A&E documentary on Sunday. Some good shit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I noticed they made a new episode about that. I'm gonna take a look at that.
Yeah, they go into a lot of his backstory. They even interviewed his parents. They interviewed his parents for it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, his parents don't speak English. They had them all. They spoke Spanish the whole time with English subtitles.
Oh.
Also, they interviewed the original Rey Mysterio's uncle.
Oh. Okay. Gotcha. All right.
They also interviewed Conan. They interviewed Eric Bischoff, Kevin Nash, Hogan, Edge, Paul Heyman.
Nice.
Dominic, obviously, his wife, his daughter Aaliyah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was a good documentary, very well done. But one of the most interesting things on the documentary, two things I will say, was his wife and Rey Mysterio himself admitted that Rey Mysterio was an asshole to her when she was pregnant with Aaliyah,
Are you serious?
Yeah, I never heard or could even imagine Rey Mysterio being an asshole. But yeah, they got into that heavy because that was around the time that WCW went under. And before they let Ray into WWE, before they signed him initially, they weren't interested. So at that point, Ray was going through like a lot of stress and a lot of uncertainty. And he ended up taking it out on his wife. And she happened to be pregnant at the time. And yeah, it didn't
Oh
sound
wow,
pretty.
wow. Okay, yeah. Like I said, I'm gonna definitely gonna take a look at that with him. Being from my neck of the woods, and plus on top of that, I even got his autograph and met him before. So wow.
Yeah, it's a very good story. It's a great story. But yeah, that was like one minor detail. And it just surprised me to hear that because like you can't imagine Rey Mysterio being an asshole. Like I could never see that.
No, no. That's why I'm shocked to hear that. He's not the type of person you don't see that in him to act like that.
Yeah, but they ended up squashing it, and like he even admits that he was wrong for the way he acted back then. But it is what it is,
Yeah.
and it was just funny to hear Rey Mysterio's parents' thoughts on the Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero feud involving Dominic, the custody battle.
Oh really?
Yeah, they only spoke in Spanish, but yeah, just reading the subtitles, yeah, it was pretty funny to get their take on it.
Oh wow. Gotcha.
Yeah, Dominic loved being in that storyline because he got to miss school and get a bunch of money to buy candy and stuff.
Oh, I think I remember hearing that part there. You mentioned about that a long time ago.
Good stuff though, but definitely should check it out. The DX one was also good too, and the Edge one.
Okay.
All right, so moving on for the Intercontinental Championship, marking the first Intercontinental title match at a pay per view in over a year and a half. We have Gunther defending the title against Sheamus.
I loved the segment that they had last Friday on SmackDown.
Yeah, where they just like stared at each other the whole time, where all the dudes in like their rival crews were like just brawling and battling each other.
Yes, yes, and everybody on social media was talking about now the IC title is now it feels like important now, and it's good to hear that.
Yes, it feels very important. And I honestly think this probably might be the best match on the whole show because these dudes are going to beat the fuck out of each other.
They are. Uh, on who to win, I think Gunther is gonna win.
Me too. He just
Uh,
got the title a few months ago.
yeah,
I feel like they're like gonna really try to build him up for a while. And
yeah.
Sheamus, I'm sure, will put in a great effort. He always does. And the Intercontinental title is actually the one title he's never won, but I don't think he's
Hmm.
winning it Saturday.
No, but it's gonna be a damn good match. I know that for sure. So yeah, Gunther needs to win. He needs to have that momentum. Like you said, he's still, you know, he hasn't. I mean, yeah, he has defended a title, but this will be his first time defending the title at a pay per view.
And I think his first actual pay per view on the main roster, period, now that I think about it.
Yeah, so yeah, he needs this, and it will be weird that he lost, but I don't see him losing it. So Gunther will retain.
Yes, he will. And moving on to another match that should be great, we have Matt Riddle, as of Monday now, has his first name back against Seth Rollins.
Oh my god, this is gonna be a good one. Oh man, I
Did you see
loved
that
it.
interview segment they had on Raw Monday?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw that. Intense.
Holy shit.
I've just personal, pertaining to their families, to their marriages. It's just I loved it.
Yeah, Matt Riddle basically mentions that the only man in Seth Rollins' marriage is Becky, and then they went to commercial after that, and then right when they got back from commercial break, they said we stopped the interview, but we got some exclusive footage from after the interview was over, and this is how it went down. And they basically show Seth Rollins saying, "You want to talk about families? Let's talk about your family. Oh, that's right. Your wife divorced you, took the kids because she couldn't stand your bitch ass anymore."
Oh, I know.
Yeah, and Riddle was pissed when Rollins said that. He was hot, hot.
Can't blame him. Can't blame him for that, man. You know what I think is gonna happen? I don't think there's gonna be a winner. I think that it's gonna end in disqualification. One of them two are not going to control their temper, and something's going to happen to the point where they're going to get disqualified, and then and pretty much the rivalry is not going to end. They're still going to keep this feud. And I would love to see the feud to last, but I don't think there's going to be a winner. I think there's going to be a disqualification.
It's possible, but the one thing I have liked about this feud, what they've been doing with it, is how they show like never before seen footage like online of them like fighting each other outside the arena, and then like when
Yeah.
Raw starts, and then like there was like one week when like right when Raw started, they go backstage at Gorilla where they're both fighting each other there also, and they have to be separated. Yeah, I've liked
Hmm.
what they've done with this feud the last few weeks, especially that segment on Monday.
Yeah.
I'm loving this like new these new promos where they can open up more, be themselves more.
It's old school. How often do you see promos? Not I mean, well, promos, but see like stuff that happens backstage.
Yeah, and Rollins calling Matt Riddle a bitch multiple times. Like you don't hear that shit these days anymore. Well, not so
No,
recently.
no.
But I think that Rollins will win.
Mm,
I feel like Rollins has kind of been on a losing streak the last few months.
he has. He has. But I personally think that this feud is not going to end. Normally, when you see feuds like this, there's some type of controversial ending, but the feud does not end. So I think it's gonna end in disqualification. I think Riddle's gonna really, after what happened this past Monday. Okay, I think that he's gonna like lose his cool and gets himself disqualified. He's not. His concern is not going to be worrying about trying to win the match. He just wants to inflict that pain on Seth Rollins. But the feud is going to continue, and I think Riddle's going to get himself disqualified.
I could see it going down that way, but ultimately, regardless if it goes down that way or Rollins somehow gets the pin, I do think Rollins will win. But the feud, I agree, will continue beyond this.
Okay.
And moving on, we have the six-woman tag match, which includes Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka against Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky.
Ooh, I don't. Damn, I. It wouldn't be right, to see Bailey, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. They made that incredible, debut at SummerSlam, and it's pretty much kind of like it's your first pay per view match, and you lose. It wouldn't be right. I
You are
I don't
absolutely
know.
right. It wouldn't be right, and they are not going to lose it. I predict that they will win the match on Saturday, especially considering that they didn't win the tag titles on Raw Monday, which was weird, by the way.
Yeah, and I'm hey, and I'm happy for Raquel and
Aaliyah,
yeah.
I don't want to say I'm not happy for them, but they were just like a random team they just threw together, and it kind of it's like an obvious feel like it's not gonna be a team that lasts. And it's just weird that they debuted Io Sky and Dakota Kai in the main roster just last month, and going into the pay per view, you figured they were gonna win the belts in this match, and it ended up not happening. It just felt kind of strange. But I think there was an issue in the match where I think the wrong person was pinned, so I think they might do something with this later, where they maybe do a rematch or do like keep the story going longer. But it just kind of put a sour taste in my mouth a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, it did. I can see them continuing the story, but as of now, it kind of put a sour taste in my mouth because if you really watch the matches, Raquel Gonzalez does like 95% of the work.
So she's pretty much like carrying a team.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it
Mm,
feels, and that's why I wasn't like really thrilled about them winning.
gotcha.
It's nothing personal against them, but just the way the way the whole thing has been playing out, it was kind of hard to like really get behind them like that.
I see.
Yeah, but and that whole tournament in general was a little weird. Like first it's gonna be Nikita Lyons and Tony Stark. Oh no, Zoe Stark, and then like one of them gets hurt, and they call it the Toxic Attraction Girls, and then they win, but then one of them gets hurt. Yeah, the whole thing just felt like a mess.
Oh wow, but it's unfortunate because of injuries. I
Yeah,
mean, what else can
it happens.
what else can you do?
Yeah, I'm not faulting them for it, but I'm just saying like this whole tournament in general like just
Well,
wasn't really popping.
well, how else do you want him to do it? After the Sasha and Naomi situation was unfortunate. Okay, and you had to do a tournament to. You can't just, oh, let's just put the titles on somebody, or let's just put some two random tag teams against each other. No, what is the way? What's the traditional way you're supposed to do it, as you've always done in the past? You have a tournament to determine the champion. That's how you're supposed to do it.
I'm not faulting the tournament. It's not the fact that I'm faulting the fact that they did a tournament. I'm just saying the way the tournament played out and some of the matches in the
Oh,
tournament were kind of underwhelming. That's what I mean.
again, and injuries happen. Shit happens.
It's the injuries were a part of it, but just in general, like a lot of the matches in the tournament, like they didn't really, wow me like I thought they would.
Or are you talking about for match quality?
That's what I mean. Like the match, like
Okay.
is there like you think of like the Bret Hart performance in the '93 King of the Ring tournament, or
I
Randy
mean,
Savage's performance in the WrestleMania 4 tournament? Yeah, like it
no,
didn't really have that kind of vibe.
I get what you're saying. I mean, we shouldn't really put too much pressure on it. I mean, okay. If this was like an Intercontinental Championship tournament, then that's where I was like, okay, this should match should be quality wise, this should be good. Or if it was like a women's championship tournament, then yeah. But I don't know. I don't know. When it comes to women's tag team, I don't know. I don't really put too much emphasis on the match quality too a little bit too much if it was compared to other championships. I guess I don't know, but it is what it is.
I get it. I get where you're coming from, but just in general, I feel like this tournament really kind of like showed the lack of depth they have in like the women's tag team division specifically.
Because they're random tag teams.
Yeah, it was a bunch of most of the tag teams that were in there were random teams except for Dakota Kai and Io Sky. They were like the only ones who felt like a legit team, and that's why I was so surprised that they didn't win.
Right, because they came in together where versus where you had like Raquel and Aaliyah where they really didn't, you don't know if they had chemistry with each other. They just randomly just, hey, put these two together, right?
Yeah, Natty and Sonya Deville and Tamina and Dana Brooke. Yeah, like a lot of those teams felt very random, but it is what it
Mm-hmm.
is. But I do think on Saturday it should be a fun match. But ultimately, I think Bailey, Dakota, and Io are gonna win.
Okay.
And moving on for the SmackDown Women's Championship, we have Liv Morgan defending against Shayna Baszler.
Now here's another match where just like Riddle and Seth Rollins, I see that this is not a feud. It's not going to end. I think Liv Morgan is going to retain her title because she needs to keep that momentum as a champion. But I think later down the road, Shayna Baszler will get the title. But I think at this moment right now, Liv Morgan will win.
I'm not sure how this is gonna play out because yeah, I kind of don't see Liv dropping the title just yet, or at least to Shayna. But they've been like rebuilding Shayna as that like unstoppable killer who will fuck you up. And
Yes,
I kind of get the vibe that like I would want to see her win, but I don't think it's gonna happen Saturday. So I think somehow
just not now.
Liv Morgan's gonna retain. Maybe she might get herself disqualified. Maybe something like that might go down. But I think somehow she finds a way to keep the belt.
Yeah, and another thing, I don't want her to see like get like another victory the way she did at
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam. No, I don't want to see that. I'm not saying I don't take her serious as a champion, but if I want to see her as an actual good champion, I need her to see her win a match actually in a good way, dirty or clean. I'm not trying to say win clean. I'm not saying she retained her title at SummerSlam clean, but I just saying as a babyface champion, you want to see your champion to win in some type of orderly fashion, if you get my meaning.
Yeah, I get it. Yes. To be honest, she's held the title a little longer than I expected her to. I kind of thought for sure she was going to drop it to Ronda at SummerSlam, but
Mm,
I guess the merch sales and the reaction she was getting in house shows, like I mentioned before,
that would have
was
been,
making a difference.
yeah. But that honestly mean, Kurt, if she would have lost at SummerSlam to me, that would have been a little too short.
It's happened before.
I know, but with the exception of what you were saying about the merchandise sales and all that stuff, that's why I was like, nah, not now, not now. That would have been too early to be doing that.
Yeah, because I remember like a similar scenario, like Eddie Guerrero, like going into WrestleMania 20. I kind of had a feeling he was going to lose, but then,
Really?
yeah, I kind of had the vibe that he might lose.
Wow.
But then I was reading that like he was gaining a lot of momentum and
Yeah.
and the company was like starting to notice how much people were behind him to that degree. So I was saying, okay, that's cool. I could see them keeping the belt on him longer. So maybe in Liv's case, that might be kind of a similar scenario.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this at this moment right now, I don't think so, but I think somewhere down the line, maybe at the next pay per view, as they're continuing to build Shayna Baszler as that killer gimmick that she had since NXT, that will be the right time to do it. But as of right now, not yet. Just maybe at the next show. Yeah.
You know her and Dakota Kai are a couple, right? Shayna Baszler and
What?
yeah, they're a couple.
Oh wow.
Yeah, as far as I know, I heard about it before and I wasn't sure, but then I saw pictures of the two of them together at Keith Lee and Mia Yim's wedding, and I'm like, okay, they are a couple actually.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yes, and we move on to the main events. Probably
Yes.
the biggest main event of the year, in my opinion.
I agree. I agree.
We have Roman Reigns, as of yesterday, marked 2 years as being Universal Champion,
Damn.
defending both the Universal and WWE Championships against the home continent hero, Drew McIntyre.
Wow, it's been I can't it's been 2 years.
Yesterday was a 2 year anniversary, and he's gonna have a big celebration. He's gonna
Yeah.
have a big celebration to commemorate it Friday night on SmackDown, which has actually already been taped.
Wow. 2 years. That's crazy. That's been 2 years, man. Wow.
Longest title reign since Hogan's first title reign from '84 to '88.
Wow. You know what? I hope Roman enjoys this celebration because I think. Did you see Drew McIntyre's last Instagram post?
Mm, I did not see it. No,
Okay, he's in the gym working out, but it's not the fact that he's just working out, Kurt. Do you remember his very first theme song when he debuted in 2009?
not really, because I wasn't watching at the time. But I did hear it's a song called "Broken Dreams," and there's rumors that he's gonna come out to
Yeah.
it on Saturday.
If you listen to the lyrics, it's actually is a damn good song. Actually, he was playing that while he played that in his video while he was working out, and wow, it I had to tell you, man. I said it before and I say it again. Drew McIntyre needs this moment. He really does, and we both know how we feel about how important this is for him. But at the same time, I am a bit afraid of the negative side that I see, which I'm afraid of, because after all, we've been seeing and hearing about Karrion Cross. I'm afraid that Karrion Cross is going to come in and just screw it all up for Drew. He's going to come in and interfere. Which, as a fan, that would really like hurt me and just anger me. But at the same time, if you were to put him in that situation for him to put heat on him, business wise, that would be good. So it's like I'm in between right now. I want Drew to win, but I'm just afraid that fuck. Like, what if he loses because of Karrion Cross interferes?
I mean, it's a possibility, but just after watching SmackDown last week, where like throughout the show they were showing like different videos of Drew's like past, like where they go through like how he got into wrestling, his initial stint in WWE, and how he ended up getting fired, and then like he got on the independent scene and reinvented himself, then came back, won the Royal Rumble, won the title, and it's pretty much been one of the top guys ever since. Yeah, like throughout the whole night, they were like showing all those backstories of Drew. And then at the end of SmackDown, Drew got laid out by Roman and the Bloodline. Oh, yeah. Did you see the marks on his back from that beating, by the way?
Yeah, you saw the marks. I saw that, and you saw the picture, that still shot picture of them where Roman is sitting on a chair and on top of Drew.
Yeah, he's like, he puts the chair on top of Drew's throat, just sits on it with both belts on his shoulder, and just says, "You got to take this from me.
Yeah,
I dare you to take this from me." Yeah, that was a badass image, man. As badass as it gets.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but after seeing all that, I can't see Drew losing after all that.
Me neither. I don't want him to lose. I don't want to see him to lose because of what he has in front of him. You have a championship match in your home continent, first pay per view in Europe in 30
At
years.
a stadium, first pay per view in Europe at a
Yeah,
stadium.
regardless, Drew has not had his moment, had that genuine moment, should I say. other than him winning the Royal Rumble, but as champ, as when he won the championship, not taking that away from him, but it wasn't genuine because it wasn't with the fans, and he did had a good title defense. He had a good title reign, and I liked it, especially with the feud he had with Randy Orton. But again, there was no fans there. It didn't feel genuine, and this is the moment to do it. And I'm telling you right now, Kurt, if Drew wins this match, I'm calling it right now. This is going to be. I honestly going to say this is going to be the best moment of 2022. That along with Cody Rhodes.
Can't argue that. It would be a great moment though. His home continent in a big stadium. He comes out to his old theme music. It's against Roman, who's held the title for 2 years and has been on a tear ever since. It will be the biggest cap off that you could do for the dude.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna go on a limb and say Drew wins the belts.
same. But just be wary, Kurt. Just be wary. Carrying Cross is on the horizon, looking in.
Yes, but and another thing I've been thinking about is that a part of me kind of wants Roman not to lose the titles until he goes against Cody, but at the same time that would be too long.
That is way too long. No, I'm look. I'm not hating on Roman or anything like that, but damn it, you gotta. No, I'm sorry. Like 2 years is long enough, and like how much heat do you still want to build on him? You've done enough. I mean, if what are you gonna do after? Let's say Roman retains the title. Okay, what are your plans after, as far as title defenses after?
Bobby Lashley, he could go against Lashley,
Okay,
and the Rock match could still happen, although it doesn't need to be for the belt.
that's what I pretty much predicted a couple weeks ago. I said Roman versus Rock on the second night, and Drew could be in a title match that for night
If he's still
one.
the champion by that point.
Not Drew. I'm not Drew. Cody. Cody. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say Drew. I meant to say Cody.
To be honest,
Sorry. My bad. But you
a
get
part of me
no.
could see Drew winning the title, but then losing it back to Roman like within another month or two.
Okay.
Where like they have Drew winning at this show just to give him the nice moment and everything, but he doesn't have a like really long title reign. I could also see it happening that way.
Mm, okay.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go on the limb and say Drew wins, and it'll be a great moment if it does happen.
Thank you.
All right, so that's the Clash of
Yes.
the Castles, which starts at 1 o'clock Eastern time.
Can't
1 o'clock
wait.
Eastern time, 10 a.m. your time.
Oh.
Should be a dope ass show though.
Wow. It will be.
WWE just in general has been on an upswing the last month or so ever since Triple H took over, and the upswing has been so good that USA is apparently
Yes.
very happy with the change in direction they've been doing as of late, with specifically with Raw.
Oh, I'm actually happy to hear that, man. And that's shocking and surprising how at first, USA was not happy with WWE, and you can't blame them. And look at them now.
Yeah, I think Triple H realized how much goodwill Vince ruined with the fans with a lot of his decisions and the way the show was going and whatnot. And now he's like really
Yeah.
trying to get it back, and he's doing a great job at it so far.
Yes.
And Raw scored a 2.1 rating on Monday. They haven't been scoring
Oh,
that kind of rating consistently in a long time.
wow.
I mean, I
Wow.
don't know what's going to happen when football season starts, but it's good momentum they've been building, and I hope they keep it up.
Same here, man. Same here. And
Although, admittedly, I will say the episode this past Monday on Raw was my least favorite ever since Triple H took over. Although it was still decent in many ways, that I would say was probably the weakest one so far.
I think the exception. I think the only thing that was good the Riddle and Rollins segment. What was going on? That was it.
Also, the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Uso segment was great too.
Oh,
Yeah, because it's starting to play out where Kevin Owens is starting like to tell Sami Zayn like, "Yo, these dudes don't give a damn about you. They're just using you for their to do their dirty work, and they're gonna get rid of you as soon as they don't need you."
you know what? That's gonna happen.
I will say I've been enjoying these segments with Sammy and Roman the last couple weeks.
Oh, I know you have, but because you know what's gonna happen, right?
What's gonna happen?
They're gonna kick Sammy out, and NXT solo Sequoia is gonna come in and replace him. It's been rumored that he's gonna come in next month and join them.
Yeah, and also I see the Usos eventually dropping the titles to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Do you think that they're gonna kick Sammy out?
Eventually, I don't know if it's gonna.
I'm gonna write the story. I'm gonna let me like write a story. Roman's gonna drop the belt to Drew. Roman's gonna be so furious, and he's gonna take his anger out on Sammy, kick him out of the group, and bring in Solo in. Sammy and Kevin Owens become a tag team, and then they take on the Usos.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
There.
I think eventually they're gonna take the belts from them. I just hope they kind of play it out for a while, and not rush into anything, because we don't need to see that match between the Usos and Kevin Owens and Sami on Saturday. They don't need to do it that soon.
Oh, they're not gonna do that.
Maybe Survivor Series. I'm down for that.
Yeah, not that. No.
Oh yeah, and which reminds me, Survivor Series is actually pretty much sold out.
Where's it gonna be at again?
Boston, your favorite place.
Your favorite place.
Ew, I don't like Boston.
Because you can't pronounce Massachusetts?
No, it's because I visited once and I didn't enjoy it.
Really? You actually been to Boston?
Yeah, I went to Boston in 2004, Mother's Day weekend. I wasn't crazy
Oh,
about it, honestly. To be honest, I didn't get to explore that much of it, but the little I did see of it in the weekend in general, I wasn't crazy about it.
I see.
Yeah, speaking of Boston, I watched a good ass movie that's based in Boston called The Town. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that it departed.
That's obvious. That's another great one, but The Town was also very good. It's different, but it's
Oh,
very good too.
okay.
Yeah, it stars Ben Affleck. He also directs it. Yeah, it's about
Yeah.
these dudes who are like bank robbers, and in one of the banks they rob, they focus their attention on this one girl who works at the bank, and then not even knowing it, later on Ben Affleck ends up dating the girl from the bank that they robbed.
Wow.
Their faces were covered the whole time they were robbing the bank, so she doesn't realize the dude she's dating is the dude who robbed the bank.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's some crazy shit. That movie's intense too. That
Crazy.
movie's fucking intense.
Yeah, I need to put that on my list.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, Survivor Series is going to be in Boston, but it's not going to be the Sunday before Thanksgiving. It's going to be the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
So we on a Saturday again?
It's never been on a Saturday before.
No, no, no. I'm talking about for just pay per view in general.
Yeah, I guess they're really feeling this whole Saturday format.
Oh, weird.
And Clash is going to be the third straight pay per view they've done on Saturday. They haven't done a Sunday pay per view since Hell in a Cell.
Wow.
I don't mind them that much. It's different, but I don't mind it.
That's what I'm saying. It's different. It's kind of similar to 25 years ago when you remember they used to have the pay per views early in the month, like super early, like literally like the first week of the month.
Yeah, like SummerSlam was on August 3rd, and yeah, the October pay per view was
Yeah,
October 5th, yeah, etc.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's interesting to see how to see go down that way. It's usually always before Thanksgiving, and they've only done it like after Thanksgiving a few times, and especially on Saturday, it's also going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still, as of now, still
Mm-hmm.
doing the
Yeah.
Raw versus SmackDown format.
Damn it. Damn it.
Well, at least they're not having a stupid draft the month before, so that's a plus.
I don't care about that. I don't care. No, the
Hey,
the
wait,
fact
wait
that
a
you're
minute,
so
wait a
dumb.
minute. I won't mind if they do the Raw versus SmackDown format if they do it with War Games
Okay, but that's yet to be
announced.
heard or seen. Yeah, announced.
Yeah, Survivor
So
Series isn't for 3 months, but I'm saying like if they do it as a War Game, like War Games matches for the Raw versus SmackDown thing, I don't mind it. I'll take it.
fine, but like you said, it's yet to be announced.
Yes, but back to the positive upswing of WWE's programming. In addition to the great content we've been seeing lately on Raw, we've been and SmackDown, we've also been hearing rumblings that Triple H is going to start changing the designs of the championship belts.
And we don't know which in particular though, but just to hear that news, oh my god.
Intercontinental title and the tag titles need to be the first ones.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, those are in desperate need of a makeover.
They really need to do something with the world titles.
Look, I'm not crazy about them. They're not my favorite design, but I can tolerate those belts. But I cannot tolerate the IC title or the tag titles. No fucking way.
I understand that, but after that, they need to do some of the world titles. It can't be, well, I just tolerate that. They literally legit look the same. except that it's different colors. Like you need, come on.
I think a lot of that is their MO because they like when all these people like go like in the media appearances with the belt and they have their logo have the logo all over it. I feel like they like that design mainly for that and like also for when a team wins a championship, they send them a replica belt. Yeah, I think that's why they've kept like the main titles that way, or part of the reason.
All right, if it's like the WWE title, I can understand that, but Universal title, come on.
I hated it when it was the red straps, but with the blue straps, it's not as bad. Although it's still not great, it's I can tolerate it.
It doesn't matter what it is. I don't care what color it is, brown, purple, yellow, green.
Ul-
It looks the same. Change
Ultimate
it.
Warrior used to wear like purple strap belts and blue strap belts.
Okay?
Yeah, I mean, did you think those were ugly too?
I'm not talking about the straps. I'm talking about the belt design in general.
Oh, okay, I got you. Hey, but I will say back to that Ultimate Warrior one, that shit was kind of creative. I didn't care for his title run, but I give him props on like the creativity with the different color belt straps.
Okay,
It was a nice little switch up.
right. But I don't care about the color straps and all that stuff. Like it, like every championship belt has, you need to have your own identity.
Agreed.
Okay, you cannot be looking at like the same as every other belt. I mean, for goodness sakes, the other belts below the world titles have somewhat have their own identity, except the tag team. You know what I mean?
The 24/7 title has its own identity.
Bring back, if you're gonna do that, for goodness sakes, just bring back the big gold belt. Then, for goodness sakes, I thought that's something. That's one belt they should have never gotten rid of, but they decided to do that because Vince wanted to, move away from like the past and etc. and do something that's different for this generation. That was the reason why he did that.
Yeah, too bad a lot of his creative ideas were stuck in the past, but that's another story. Oh, it was actually Vince's birthday last week. He's now 77 years old.
Well,
And there were pictures that surfaced of his
he was
birthday
out.
party. Yeah, they
Yeah, I saw out with a girl and with John Cena and his wife. I saw that.
also Brock Lesnar, Undertaker, and Pat McAfee were at the party too.
They were.
I saw pictures of Brock and Pat McAfee like outside of it, and
That I did not see.
I heard Undertaker was there too. Not surprising.
Oh yeah, no, no, I didn't. Yeah, did not see that. I just saw pictures of Vince, his girl or whatever, and John Cena and his wife.
Yeah, damn, Vince is getting it in with the youngins now, or he always has been.
Have you heard anything, any news about the, because we got to remember, as good as business has been going on, let's not forget what was the reason because of that, and also, I haven't heard any news about Vince and his situation lately.
Well, the last I heard is like now the settle now like the hush money is up to $20 million that he used to pay off the women, and
Right, right.
I heard that Netflix is actually going to go ahead with the documentary about him after all.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they stopped it for a couple months ago,
Wow.
but now they're gonna continue to go through with it.
Wow. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's funny because I haven't heard anything big lately. It's been really just been like quiet for like the longest time now. So that's why I asked you, was like, have you heard anything? Because I haven't, and I haven't heard any court cases coming up or anything like that.
Yeah, it hasn't come up yet, but I last I heard was that like HBO was gonna do a documentary about him about this whole situation.
Mhm.
So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens with that as the time goes on. But yeah, I doubt him and Linda McMahon are still together.
No, 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 no. You've been told me that like a long time ago. Yeah, I mean, no. I mean, I would second guess myself that they're still together. No offense, but
I guess the genetic jackhammer didn't do what it was supposed to do back in that storyline a couple years ago.
oh Jesus.
Oh my god, that dude was so wild on TV. I was even talking to my friend Dan yesterday about the whole Vince thing and about like, and he was like asking me what I thought of it, and I said, bro, as long as I've been watching wrestling and some of the shit I would see Vince do on TV, this shit does not surprise me even a little bit.
No.
Yeah, every every person who's been watching wrestling for at least the '90s, this whole scandal does not surprise any of them.
No. There was videos that popped up on my Twitter feed, right, and the stuff that he's like, it was from 15 years ago, Kurt, and it was like Jesus. I was like, at one point, I did kind of forgot, but when I watched it, I was like, oh my god, I remember this, and I was just like, I cannot believe that they actually like got away with this stuff. This was 15 years ago.
I can't believe he got away with wearing that fucking do rag back when he was ECW champion.
That was the most. That was the genius thing he ever did. That was probably the most funniest thing he ever did.
Oh my god.
Oh, that was the funniest thing ever. I loved it.
I could see
The
him.
do rag McMahon. I loved
I could
it.
see him in a Cash Money video or something with that look.
Yes. Talking about what up, dog.
Yeah, he has a limo that's on spinners. He rolls up to the club with a bunch of chicks on his arm, gets like the VIP treatment and all that. Goes on a dance floor and does this crazy ass dance, and everybody does it with him. That video would be mad popping.
It would. It would. It will win. It will win best rap video at the VMAs.
Shit. Anyway, okay, I think we've talked about this enough. All right, so yeah, they're gonna get new belt
Yeah.
designs. Hopefully, they turn out to be sexy looking.
Oh
Well,
hell
with
yes.
judging by the NXT titles, I could see that happening. Also, what's been going on since Triple H took over is a lot of surprising returns. And the most recent return we had was last week on Raw, which was the surprise return of Johnny Gargano in his hometown of Cleveland, Ohio.
Yes. And he got a massive pop.
Yeah, it was dope to see him, and I'm happy that he didn't go to AEW because, in all honesty,
Hell
at this
yes.
point, he would have gotten lost in the shuffle. We'll get into AEW in a few minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I'll touch into that briefly. We'll talk about that. But go on.
Yeah, so Johnny Gargano comes out, he gives a nice speech, gets a nice ovation, and then he's interrupted by Austin Theory, who also now has his
Yeah.
first name back. Yeah, so Austin Theory comes out and he talks about like, the memories they and all the times they had together in NXT, and then he makes a little snarky comment afterwards about how now he's surpassed him since he came to the main roster, and you were at home being daddy, and I was in WrestleMania with Vince and Stone Cold Steve Austin. So yeah, basically throwing shade at him that like I'm doing more in the main. I've been doing great on the main roster since I got here, and you haven't done anything ever since.
Huh.
Johnny Gargano responded by all this by super kicking him right in the face.
Feud coming up.
Oh yeah, and I like it.
As soon as I saw
And I
that
like it. It's a
feud,
good feud. I like this feud. I think it'll be good.
hell yes. Hell
And
yes.
then last Monday on Raw, they were interviewing Johnny Gargano. Like earlier in the day, they were showing footage of it, and then Theory came and interrupted him, talking about how Gargano never called him, and like when he won the U.S. title, or ever called him when he won Money in the Bank, and like never tried to keep in touch with him or anything. So he was basically throwing shade at him because of that, and it's clear to see that, yep, it's gonna go down between these two. It's gonna go down.
Hell yeah. I want to be surprised if Gargano tempts him to put his money in a bank briefcase on the line.
It's not gonna happen.
Oh,
All right, but anyway, so since with Johnny Gargano's return, there's also rumored other returns that might be coming soon, and three of those names that I've been seeing floating around are Bray Wyatt,
hmm.
Bronson Reed,
Braun Strowman.
and Braun Strowman. Yes.
The Braun Strowman is not surprising. If you had sent me a link about that, not surprising if he'll come back. I would love to see him come back. Same thing with, more importantly, Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, I would love to see him come back in with like a new fresh cut of paint and under Triple H's creative mind. I think I would like to see like where that goes as opposed to what was happening before.
I would love to see him, the cult leader, Bray Wyatt, the one that we saw back in 2013 and 14. That was my favorite version of him.
Yeah, I've said it before. It was always a great character, but the one thing that hurt him was the booking decisions they did with him.
Thank you. Thank you. I hate it.
Yeah, a lot of the matches they had him lose for no reason. Yeah, it just really killed his momentum.
It did. And the one moment that he had that momentum was 2014. And I we
Yeah,
had talked I talked about this last year and the year before that, how that was the moment to, like, here's, okay, go ahead, but they didn't. They kept throwing him in random feuds, and the longer it went, his momentum started to die down.
yeah, they had him lose to Cena at WrestleMania. They had him lose to Cena again at Payback in a last man standing match. Although it was a great match, he still ended up losing. They had him lose to Jericho, and then they freaking split up the Wyatt family from him for some random reason. And then they put him in a feud with Dean Ambrose, which didn't go well.
uh,
He got to wrestle Undertaker at WrestleMania, but then he ended up losing. And then he lost his feud to Roman, and they put him in. They put him back with the Wyatts, and then he freaking had that run with Randy Orton, which had its moments. But then he did win the title during that period. But then he ended up losing it to Randy Orton at WrestleMania.
yeah, and even though it was a good that he won a title, but it was like, to me personally, it felt like it was a bit too late to put the title on him, because it didn't feel right to me. It just didn't, that he didn't really have that same momentum that he had a couple years back prior to that.
Yeah, and then like he was in a bunch of other random feuds for a while, and then they reinvented him with the whole Fiend character, which was great when it started. But then that whole Hell in a Cell bullshit happened,
Yeah,
and then they had the match with Goldberg where he lost the belt to him in 2 minutes, and yeah, it was just never the same after that.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah, they did him no favors with the booking they did with him.
no,
And Braun Strowman, he also was the victim of some of the booking decisions too. But it would be good to see him back because I felt like when they did fire him, it felt like very weird and very random.
it's unjust. Yeah,
And
unjustly.
especially considering that he just main evented the pay per view the month before.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not as much of a fan of the guy anymore, mainly because of some of the stuff he tweets online. But he is a valuable piece to have. I will say that I can't take that away from him.
right.
Kind of similar to Kevin Durant, he just does not come off well on social media.
No, God, I could tell you, social media could be so evil sometimes. It's just how
Yeah,
the
it
way you
can.
use it.
Very, very
How the way you
evil.
use it. You got to be careful.
Yeah, people really show their ass on social media, and in many ways, it's fucking ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. And Bronson Reed, that he definitely didn't even get close to a fair shake. He got fired before they even called him up.
Jesus.
Yeah, because I remember he was the North American champion in NXT, and then he lost it randomly to Swerve Scott. And so I figured after he lost the belt, I'm like, okay, they're gonna call him to the main roster. And then 1 month later, the dude gets fired.
Yikes.
And he was good too. Like he reminded me
He
kind of Bam Bam
was.
Big. He reminded me of Bam Bam Bigelow in some ways.
And for a big guy, he was very agile.
It's funny. I actually saw his action figure at Target a couple weeks ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and I also heard that was one thing Mattel was pissed off at WWE about was the fact that they were releasing all these people randomly, and these were the same people that they made action figures for. And now that they're not in the company anymore, who's gonna buy those action figures now?
Right. It's like you just literally just waste. That's wasted money.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, they have a right to be pissed off
Yeah.
about that because that was some fuckery.
I know. That's money. And also, have you heard about the Worlds Collide pay per view or show coming up?
Yeah, this Sunday was right before the AEW show. It's in the afternoon.
Yeah. Carmelo Hayes is going against Ricochet.
Yeah, that should be great. I think I'm gonna watch that show now.
Dude, oh my god. I you, you know how I feel about Ricochet. I love Ricochet, but I really spoke highly about Carmelo Hayes for the longest time. So I'm actually excited for this.
Yes, it should be a fun match, and also Rhea
Yes.
Ripley showed up there.
Mm-hmm.
Shayna
Yep.
Baszler showed up.
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor showed up, and then Nikki
Yeah.
Ash and Doudrop showed up too. Yeah, NXT was like had a whole invasion episode last night. Apparently,
Yeah.
good shit.
You know what that reminds me of? I remember when 10 years ago when CM Punk showed up and he talked to Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I remember that. I didn't see the episode when it
Yeah.
happened, but I did. I've seen the footage of it.
Yeah, that was a good moment. Yeah.
And speaking of CM Punk, let's get into some AEW drama that's been going on the last couple weeks. So last Wednesday on Dynamite, we had the winner take all match between CM Punk and John Moxley.
Shockingly, it was only 3 minutes.
Yes, and The way the match ended was CM Punk threw a kick at John Moxley, and as he threw the kick, CM Punk fell down and started clutching his other ankle.
Yeah,
Apparently, it gave out on him and started giving him problems again. And instead of checking on Punk and I guess showing maybe a little compassion for him, Moxley just said "fuck this" and hit him with a paradigm shift twice and got the pin and is now the undisputed AEW champion.
yeah, we wasn't expecting that because they're still gonna have their match at the pay per view.
It's not official, but it's looking like it probably will happen.
You think Punk's gonna turn heel?
That's what a lot of people are saying will probably happen because of this. They feel like the way this played out, especially considering that Punk looked back at Moxley as he was celebrating when he was being helped to the back. He gave him kind of
Mm-hmm.
a suspicious look. A lot of people are saying that that's probably the sign that he's going to turn heel.
Ooh, 10 years in the making. 10 years. It's 2012 all over again. Literally during this time 10 years ago.
He's either going to turn heel. His injuries worse than they thought, and that's why they had to do the match so short. Or I doubt this is the reason, but the way the match played out might have been punishment for the things he said in the promo the week before.
Oh, Jesus. Well, now, why all of a sudden now do you want to get all butthurt about the promos now?
I'm not saying that's the reason why. I'm just saying that could have been a reason why it played out that way.
I mean, that would be weird if that was the reason. Because after all, I mean, that's one of the reasons why most of the WWE stars left and went to AEW because of you have more control of your character and less of less control and when it comes to promos.
Yeah, but the thing that he said about Hangman wasn't a part of the script.
Right.
He just said that on his own without anybody knowing about it. I don't. Apparently, Hangman Adam Page didn't know about it ahead of time either.
Gotcha.
More than likely, it's probably played out that way because he's going to turn heel.
I wouldn't mind it.
But I don't mind seeing it. He's been a baby face for a year, and the way it played out like this, I could definitely see it going down that way. I don't
Okay.
mind. But also, besides the whole CM Punk stuff, there's also other backstage drama surrounding AEW, and some of it is surrounding Eddie Kingston and Sammy Guevara. As a few weeks ago, Sammy Guevara was cutting a promo about Eddie Kingston, and in the promo, he called Eddie Kingston a fat piece of shit, which apparently Eddie Kingston was not aware that Guevara was going to say ahead of time. So it's not surprising to hear that he was really pissed off about this, and he confronted Sammy about this afterwards backstage, and it got heated between the two of them. It got into each other's faces, and I think Eddie Kingston tried to pie face him, and because of this, Eddie Kingston was suspended for 2 weeks.
Yikes. Do you feel that maybe I'm jumping into conclusions just a little bit, but do you kind of feel like as of right now, like the AEW is kind of like losing its grip just a tad bit, just a little bit?
Somewhat, yeah. It does feel like things are starting to kind of unravel a little bit, at least from the stories we're hearing.
Not only that, and then Thunder Rosa. When you told me about that, and I was just like, Punk. Now this, and also there's a rumor about Triple H is trying to get in contact with AEW stars that was once with WWE. So just a lot been going on, man. Ever since Triple H has been charged, it's just like it's just crazy. It's kind of like the roles have been a little reversed a little bit.
Yeah, and also back to that tampering with the AEW talent from WWE. I heard that Tony Khan sent a message out to Stephanie and to Nick Khan to cut that shit out. Not in those words,
I know, but still,
but legally.
I know this is like some. This is literally some NBA stuff we're hearing right now. Don't be tampering with my players.
Yup.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Okay.
But with the Thunder Rosa story, what happened was Thunder Rosa broke Jamie Hayter's nose a couple months ago, and apparently,
That was the reason of the heat.
supposedly, she hid afterwards backstage from Jamie Hayter because she didn't want to like deal with the consequences, which was a rumor. I don't know how true that was. And also, it's coming out that her and Britt Baker legit don't like each other. Like they legit have heat with each other.
Who, Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker?
Yeah, like the beef between them is apparently legit, and it's not just on
I
screen.
mean, the nose injury was that like I don't think it had to be intentional. Obviously, it was accidental, but I mean,
I'm
was it?
sure it was accidental, but apparently, Thunder Rosa has a reputation for being stiff and unsafe.
Wow.
And also, she announced last Wednesday that she would have to step away for a while and she can't defend the championship for the time being. So now there's going to be an interim AEW Women's Champion crown this Sunday at All Out.
Yeah. Right. Which we had talked about that last week. Yeah.
Apparently, Thunder Rosa has a back issue, and that's the reason why she can't wrestle for the time being. And now they're going to do an interim
Hmm.
champion for the women, which I don't think is a good idea.
Mm,
I think if she can't wrestle for like a long period of time, she should just forfeit it, and then she'll get the first title shot when she gets back.
okay. But it's just been so weird. It's weird, man. Like past couple of years, we're all AEW and all that stuff. But now, man, ever since Vince is gone and ever since Triple H came in, it's just been roles have been reversed a little bit, man. Things are coming into the light when it comes to AEW, and it's just I don't know.
Yeah, this whole thing is just weird. It's just weird to see like everything just unravel and just seem like they're falling apart. It's been so bad that Tony Khan had to call a talent meeting before Dynamite last week to kind of like get
Wow,
things under control.
pretty much like State of Union.
Yeah, apparently Chris Jericho spoke during the meeting, and Kenny Omega spoke, and Tony
Hmm.
Schiavone spoke.
Oh, okay.
Well, at least they did that. At least they realized that there's a problem and they need to kind of
And that's good. You need to do
look
that.
it
Whenever
out.
there's a problem in business, you always have to have a meeting and address the problem. That's good.
Yeah, and also Eddie Kingston and Sammy Guevara squashed their whole issue. Apparently, they
That's good.
were at Dynamite today, earlier today, backstage. They found each other and they shook hands, and everything's cool now.
Okay.
Yeah, Eddie Kingston even did an interview like last week, admitting what happened and admitting that he was wrong for the way he acted, and Sammy Guevara was also kind of trying to defend him a little bit in certain tweets because people were talking shit about Eddie Kingston online and calling him names and all this jazz. And Sammy Guevara like got online saying like, "Yo, leave the dude alone.
Mhm.
Shit's not right." Yeah, but the Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker shit is pretty interesting.
Yeah, that wow, crazy man.
Yeah, it's a lot of drama going on, but hopefully they get it under control and hopefully we don't see this issue continue to make things worse and continue to spiral even further out of control than it already is now.
I know. You will hate to see AEW lose its momentum. You'll hate to see it.
Yeah, I don't want AEW to go away. I don't want AEW to go out of business. That'd be horrible.
Oh, I like the fact that we have two wrestling companies, and because I always wanted that ever since WCW went out of business. Now I ain't gonna say. And I know what you say. Well, Jonathan, you had TNA. Well, I mean, uh, I mean TNA. I mean, didn't really doesn't have that effect on me how AEW does. You know what I mean? So it's different.
Yeah, I hear you. AEW has like definitely been in some ways bigger than Impact in the sense where they're like doing more pay per view buys and the most pay per view buys from a non WWE wrestling show since WCW and like the attendance they're doing for a lot of their shows. They're about to do Arthur Ashe Stadium in a few weeks also. So yeah, they've had a lot of great momentum, but looking at things now compared to a year ago is definitely some shit rumbling and
It is, and also the biggest difference we also got to remember. TNA was always in one city. They were always recording in Orlando. They never, ventured out to different cities or traveled, unlike AEW does. So they had that advantage.
yeah, that too. And Tony Khan is rich as shit. He has funding for days.
Oh yeah, man, it was a football team for goodness sakes. I
I think the one thing that's starting to like really starting to catch up with AEW now is all the WWE people that they signed.
know that's what I'm saying, man. Like you don't have the time to put everybody all in one pot when it comes to mainly to your shows. and timing and stories. It takes a lot, man.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people in AEW I won't see on Dynamite for weeks. I don't think I've seen Jade Cargill on Dynamite in a month.
Wow, wow.
And I barely see Keith Lee and Isaiah Swerve Strickland and the tag team champions.
Hmm.
Yeah, just weird. Like there's a lot of people. Yeah, Britt Baker I haven't I don't see as often. Yeah, it's weird. Like they have so much talent, and yeah, you don't. There's a lot of people you like feel like are missing in a sense, but apparently they're there.
This is a lot of people, man. It's like I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, man. It's just you just have so many. Like a think about it like the NFL roster. You only could have 53 men on the football team, and it's just and then the rest. The ones that you want to keep, you just put them on the practice squad, and it's very often who you're going to pick that player from the practice squad to put on your active roster. You know what I mean? So that's what it's kind of what it's similar to. You have your active roster of wrestlers, but the rest that are not being used are pretty much on the practice roster. And how often are you going to call those people up?
Yeah, it's ugly situation, but I hope they can get that shit together sooner than later.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I think one AEW superstar that I wish they would come back to WWE is Keith Lee. I think with Triple H in charge now, I think he really would like, okay, let's do a revamp now. Let's start all over and do it right.
Andrade, I would like to see go back there too at some point.
Yeah.
It'd be a better situation, especially considering that his wife's there and all that. So that would
Hmm.
work out probably better in a sense. He's somebody I
Gotcha.
barely see on TV either. He's another dude I rarely ever see on Dynamite.
Yeah. And the only time that I see him, he's when he's only doing like mostly doing promos.
He does tag matches. He was on the show last week if I remember correctly, or the week before. But yeah, he doesn't. I don't see
Yeah.
him regularly. That's the thing. I don't see him on the show regularly.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah, but
Mm.
hopefully they get that shit together. And someone who also needs to get their shit together is Velveteen Dream, who was arrested last Friday for possession of coke,
Good
and he tried to
lord.
get rid of the evidence by sniffing it so the cops wouldn't see it. It
Why, for
was,
the love of God? What the fuck?
I
Why?
know.
Why?
And apparently Andre the Adonis from Hit Row bailed him out.
Oh.
Yeah, what the fuck happened to that dude, man? I remember like 4 or 5 years ago, he had mad momentum. He was like one of the best acts on NXT. Very entertaining, great entrance, great aura to him. And then once those allegations came out about him, and then all those other stories about like people backstage not liking him and not liking to work with him, it was just all downhill from there.
Mm.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. But what's not unfortunate is Nikki Bella's love life, as she was just got married to her longtime boyfriend this past weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she married the dude she's been with for a few years, who she actually had a baby with. They finally got married this weekend.
Oh, nice. Congrats to them.
Yeah, congratulations to Nikki Bella. She got the fairy tale ending that she
Yeah.
always wanted, and I'm glad it worked out for her.
Nice.
Maybe we'll see a comeback from the Bella twins. They should have been in the damn tournament, the tag title tournament.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like that's a team. Like the Bella Twins are a team, and like when they had like the Team Bad and Team PCB stuff, like those were teams. But yeah, just a lot of the shit they have now, like they don't have like any legit teams, at least on the female
I don't
side.
know, but maybe they weren't able to do it because they were just busy with just with life and all that
Oh
stuff.
yeah, I know that. I get that. I'm just saying, like if in a perfect world, they could have been in the tournament.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hell, the men's tag division is whack too. They have like what 5 teams total.
It's not just that, man. Like there is no like tag teams that are like, oh, that is serious. That like, oh, I can really take a tag team super serious. Come on, the Viking Raiders, Kurt.
Who are going against New Day this Friday on SmackDown, which would be a fun match.
Ugh.
New Day's been the champions 1,000 times. The Street Profits, but they lost to the Usos twice, so they're not getting those belts anytime soon. Hell, I don't think they're going to be together that much
Right.
longer for that matter either. There's Hit Row. I have to be honest. I remember talking to my cousin a few months ago about them. I'm not really a fan of their music, their rapping, I should say.
Not compared to
Max Caster,
what's their
not
name
compared to
from? Yeah.
the Acclaim. Hell no, hell no. I like the Acclaim a lot more.
Oh, me too. Me too.
Okay, there's the Street Profits, Alpha Academy. There's still them. Oh, did you see that segment on Raw Monday with Angle and Alpha Academy?
That crap was funny.
And then he goes backstage with Edge afterwards, and Edge does the same shit he did with him 20 years ago with
Yeah.
the pictures
20 years ago.
and
20. Yep.
and the words in the back making fun of him.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that shit was classic. I love their
It
feud.
was funny.
I love their feud. Their feud was
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's just crazy how well, 20 years ago was 2002, man, and just all the stuff that was going on 20 years ago, man. It just wow.
Yeah, 20 years ago, 8 Mile. Holy shit. November's going to be 20 years since 8 Mile came out. Damn.
Wow. I was just saying to myself, last week was the, not even last week. It was like literally like a few days ago. It was literally the 20th anniversary of SummerSlam from that year, and I'm just saying to myself, I can't believe it's been 20 years.
Yeah, it was a crazy ass year, but a
Wow,
good one though. I love 2002.
yeah,
It's one of my favorite years of the 2000s, to be honest with you, overall.
yeah. Are you talking about in wrestling or just personally?
In general, like my favorite years of the 2000s are 2000, 2002, 2005, 2006, and 2008.
Hmm. I think for me personally, I think from that early decade, early 2000s, that my favorite year for me personally, for me was like 2003.
Yeah, 2003 was cool too. I like 2003 also, but I wouldn't rank it as a top
Yeah.
five. All right, but anyway, I think we've said what we needed to say tonight. Clash of the Castle this weekend, also When Worlds Collide, and AEW All Out this weekend as well. A lot of freaking wrestling to
Oh
watch.
my God. Too much going on. It's going to be one heck of a Labor Day weekend. I'm going to be out of town, but I'm definitely going to still be keeping track of definitely keeping track with the events. So is Kurt. And we both wish you guys have a safe Labor Day weekend. And we will be back next week to give you our recap of Clash at the Castle and other events and other news.
Enjoy all this great wrestling this weekend. Hope you enjoyed the podcast, and we will always be here for you guys to break you guys off with that wrestling goodness that we are so known for. And until we meet again, take care, guys. Have a good one.